The city of Eugene is consistently ranked one of the best places to live in the United States. We truly are a great city for the arts and outdoors, in large part because of the many activities that residents and visitors can participate in and enjoy in our community. An activity that occurs each fall that draws fans from around the country is Oregon Duck football. You may not know this, but on game days, Autzen Stadium becomes the 7th largest city in the state. That means there are a lot of people in a pretty small area. Eugene Springfield Fire EMS is geared up to respond to medical emergencies that happen in the stadium, in addition to protecting the rest of our community.
We expect a certain number of medical emergencies to happen to a crowd of 60,000 people. And we have seen that happen repeatedly at Autzen Stadium, where we've had up to 50 calls during that time period. And with the main variable being the heat. The heat, if we have a hot day, there are definitely more patients that we're going to see at Autzen Stadium. But I would say on the average, we see about 6 transports out of a game of a medical nature, cardiac events, stroke events, diabetic emergencies, seizures. We do see alcohol as a complicating factor for a lot of patients that we see there, but I would say overwhelmingly it's not the major issue. We staff at Autzen Stadium with 3 chief officers. We have 1 chief that roves around, that checks on the situations as they are occurring. And we have 2 chiefs that work in the stadium security and operations center. And we have 7 teams of paramedics that perform advanced life support at the game. There are 3 ambulances at the stadium, 1 that is dedicated to the field and 2 that are dedicated to use for transport from the stadium for patients that get sick at the stadium and need to be transported off to the hospital. On game day, the crews meet at one of the stations, and then they ride over together in a van to come over to the stadium. And the chief officers do the same thing. The chief officers, we all meet at one of the stations and ride in together. The crews that are bringing the medic units in respond out to those certain stations where the medic units are at, and they then will ride in together in their medic unit to stage for an event. In the event that a medic unit does transport a patient out of Autzen Stadium, we do call back an additional medic unit to take their place and stand by at the stadium. Up in the operations center, we run 2 different computer programs while we're up there. One of them monitors what's happening in the city, so we're able to see where all of the units are in the city, as well as our units on site, so we can track them when they're on their way to the hospital and when they're on their way back from the hospital. The treatment rooms are used for patient assessment, and there are certain things that you do not want to do out in front of a crowd of 60,000 people. Like, for instance, an electrocardiogram, where you're putting patches on somebody's skin on their bare chest to determine whether or not they have a arrhythmia, to determine whether or not they are going to need to be transported to the hospital. This provides us a little bit of a quieter area. It's very loud at the stadium and very difficult to hear, and so it's very hard to determine what a person's blood pressure is, or even to have a conversation with them out in front of a crowd of 60,000 people. So the rooms allow us an opportunity and a place to be able to perform those assessment skills better, to be able to determine what the patient's needs truly are. The cost is absorbed by the University of Oregon. They pay for the costs of having us stand by there. They also pay a stipend for medical equipment that is used annually, and they provide any additional staffing that is above and beyond what our normal staffing levels are. The University of Oregon has paid for that. I think it's really important that we're there at Autzen Stadium because there are so many people there, and they love the Ducks and they want to be there. And sometimes they will attend those games even when their medical condition probably should exclude them from coming to the game. But we want to make sure that everybody has a good time at Autzen Stadium, and even from our most elderly Duck fans to our youngest Duck fans, we want to make sure that they're well taken care of and that they have rapid response, well-trained people, well-equipped personnel, that they have the people that they need to take care of them if they have a medical emergency while they're at Autzen Stadium.
It is comforting to know that when we are supporting the Ducks on game days, we are able to rely on Eugene Springfield Fire EMS to provide medical support. For more information on this and all the services the city provides, visit the City of Eugene website.